Alright, so this tea is amazing. It heals people of cancer. My teas. So it's kind of under Hamilton products and shop and market and things like that. But you'll be able to navigate that at the website socialalchemyproject.com or .org or what have you. So those websites will be just a back and forth of what you can get by working with me, you know. So, you know, I have the social sciences, and then I have the metaphysical, the religious, the psychic, the clairvoyant, the occultist arts, the whole Satanist, Jesus Christ, Joseph Smith, Ron L. Hubbard, Martin Luther, Jesus Christ, Buddha, Paramahansa Yogananda, Abdul Baha, Baha'u'llah, Krishna, Hindu, what have you. You know, whatever religion that you stand for, even if it's the religion of marijuana or the religion of Church of Cock or Church of Satanism, modern day Satanism isn't going around eating people, or modern day Mormonism doesn't go around doing the whole polygamy. Depends which descent coming from with the accent. You know, do you believe in abortion? Are you pro-LGBTQ? Q for questioning. I educate on that. But in the social justice education, really, with the social science emergency of men needing to reinstate who they are as men because of corruption and greed, Donald J. Trump, politician, psychology, who are we standing for if we've never had even a gay male president? So people are like, I'll vote for Tyler Hamilton. I'm like, well, I'm still working on my PhD, my doctorate of philosophy and general psychology, and then I'm authoring a book, a few books. One is of poetry. One is just very scientific writing. You know, my scholar practitioner work in training, years, my custard pie years, some autobiographical sketch to put in digital. Excuse me. Oh, now I speak much better. But, you know, just autobiographical sketch, my singing, my missionary work, and definitely my political homosexuality, my gender politics. That's right, political homosexuality and gender politics, many hard-ons. I'm a original social science theorist, and so I'm creating the cock and culture research with the cock and culture theory, the cultural mediocrity theory, the emasculinist theorem, because it's the Me Too movement. Everybody wants to be post-LGBT, post-9/11, you know, post, you know, gay civil rights and women and black people, like post-Donald J. Trump. Where will we be with a visionary futurist, forward-thinking type of appeal when we talk about, pardon me, that goes high. Anyway, so, you know, as you look at my art, you know, I have a pentagram because I thought, you know, the whole, you know, you can't say bitch, you can't say cunt, you know, and, you know, you can't say all these words, you know, that, you know, your kids are learning like age 8. So, you know, we're really post-identity theft, post-hackers, post-exploitation of children, human sex trafficking, boys to men, gay community, sex trafficking, pedophilic men, priests, LGBTQ, Q for questioning. A lot of people think it's LGBTQ for queer. LGBT within itself is umbrellaed and is supported and has been fortified and has erected from out of queer theory. So why would you write LGBTQ, Q for queer, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer? Because it's already queer, the whole LGBT, the acronyms. But you want questioning, such as Caitlyn Jenner, not sure if he's a woman, she's a man, lesbian, gay, transgender, where does she fall in? The social justice education of, you know, homeless LGBT transgender youth, okay? and STDs are the highest in LA in the whole nation. We're the heaviest carrier of STDs and HIV. You know, the work gets very controversial because it deals with a lot of, let's just say, conservative sponsors and stakeholders that own company. They do things as a write-off, but they really don't care about certain things. That for certain thing they will, because it's conservative money from Montecito. You know, Palm Springs. You know, some old money Hollywood in Santa Catalina Islands, and just San Luis Obispo, where Mayor Heidi Harmon wanted to be my friend, and I was busy going to San Francisco, working at Washington, D.C., and now she's mayor, so, like, you know, we've taken pictures together. I've taken pictures with the honorary Lily Bossy, the previous mayor of Beverly Hills, Sweet Beverly. She would have this program, like, every week. She'd walk for so many hours or so many miles with you through posh neighborhoods of Beverly Hills and talk to you about advanced community developmentalism. I mean, that's where I am bringing that out, specifically as new rhetoric. You haven't really talked about, you know, other terms that I'm creating as a theorist. So, yes, I'm a social theorist, social scientist, humanistic cognition, social scientist, psychologist, gay militant activist, minister. I have ordination to marry people. If you want washed out Christianity, I can give it to you at the New World Christ Church. It is a church that I, from out of my show business life, created to make it available for Tom Cruise if he ever wants to leave Church of Scientology, because his matrix and paradigm does not support him to dip money into LGBT, especially to issues that I'm researching. Men who have sex with men. Ouch, it hurts. Oh, MSM. And, you know, it's, since the early 90s, been finally addressed as not being a gay disease, but, you know, something that crosses indigenous tribes. Male sex worker straight to a gay man is hired out. STDs are exposing themselves to virus, this jazz, blah, 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 blah. And so, you know, technology and smartphones, applications for dating in LA are increasing STDs among men who have sex with men. In the early 90s, the United States federal government structure created the term MSM, men who have sex with men, because they wanted to acknowledge that it is not a gay disease. No, it's LGBTQ, not Q for queer, but Q for questioning, because there's always that room for questioning. Because there's that gay-straight alliance component, but we also have gay theory in support of the gay nation, to be able to talk professionally and non-biasedly with the intent to save lives, but not to be controversial. The art, which is specifically my performance arts, and comes out of my social arts theory, that explains why I have shock rock, because it's therapy when I've been sobered up from methamphetamines. So, and I'm out about that. 2 DUIs as a result of drugs and alcohol. So, you know, one more strike, I'm out for 3 years. Or, I mean, 3 strikes, you're out for 7, 8 years in prison. So when it comes to a Madonna whore culture that makes grabbing pussy, apparently, with Donald Trump, okay, and evangelicals love him still, and he says it's great to hire prostitutes, and evangelical Christians still love him still, why are Christians telling me, Tyler, God did not make you to be gay? So the whole contradiction, and that's coming from Republicans that love Donald J. Trump, that are for Trump because Trump hires prostitutes and grabs pussy, which is sexual assault, and has 4,300 lawsuits. You know, Melania might leave him one day. You know, so that's kind of like the hot item on the ticket. So, you know, make America great again. What about make America bend over again? What about make America healthy again? What about making America sing again? You know, since 9/11, nothing was ever compensating for that whole Twin Towers thing, except Passion of the Christ. But other than that, nothing. Yes, we've had suicides, ODs. Taylor Swift is fat. Taylor Swift is fast. She's fab. Oh, to put in dentures, I can barely speak. Oh, much better. So, you know, I have had much confrontation from 3 girls that I was raised up to know in high school, at Highland High School. At one point, I was very best friends with Greg Porter, the jazz singer, and also Jonathan from Korn. No. Gosh, what's this? He like taught me bagpipes. Jonathan. He's the lead singer from Korn. John Owen. Please forgive me, but I mean, I've had accolades by Glenn Close saying I was the funniest in Bassard when I was performing with her nephew, Danny Corey, pardon me, dentures. Much better. Keep putting those dentures in. Barely speak. But Daniel Corey, who basically outed me for the very first time, he was the first person that ever came out to me and says, "You're gay." And I didn't know because I was in community theater, but his aunt, the actress Glenn Close, said I was the funniest, fabulous. And then I had Carol Channing at the Top Out Playhouse say I was wonderful, doing Putting on the Ritz in bow tie and cufflink and white tails and top hat, all the jazz, to the whole Frank Sinatra, Fred Astaire. And I had settled off and on in San Luis Obispo where Fred Astaire's family had settled. And that made me really famous because I did work there as a gay militant activist. But that was when I found, you know, problems in a gay subculture. Okay. So whether it's gay, LGBT, Q for questioning, gay, straight men, across prisons, men even have STDs. So, like I'm saying, in the early 90s, the United States federal government said there needs to be a term called MSM, men who have sex with men. So, fast forward 2018, LA is the highest for carrier and STDs. So, assuming it's men who have sex with men, let's look at perception, and then we understand perception, motivation. The sites are Atom for Atom, Grindr, Scruff, Jacked, and a few others. They are in the geosocial networking application of it, the apparatus, connected to your Android, you know, your iPod. Oh. The technology and the instant gratification of that is because people cannot raise a level of self-efficacy because of no social cognition. And I'm working off of social cognitive theory by Albert Bandura, doctor, psychologist, Stanford University psychologist, author, researcher, professor. And so that if you can't control the self-efficacy, which is worth and value power into the degree that you know you're capable because you have the capacity to fulfill a goal because you have information and cognition. You know, if you don't have that, then you're going to continue doing the same things that you don't want to be doing, that you so much like, because you don't have information about STDs. So STDs are the increase. Well, why? You know, we have the PrEP drug that makes HIV undetectable in the body. Well, it also makes it less likely for people to transmit HIV to one another with the PrEP drug. So what do you mean STDs? Well, people aren't using condoms and they're barebacking because they're less likely to infect one another and they're both on PrEP. So you have people increasing STDs, sexually transmitted diseases, not just immunodeficiency, things that are going to creep up because you have human immunodeficiency virus. HIV. So what you want is you want cognition, self-efficacy to know perception, so then you can go into the scripting and find a standard across the board of what that intervention component will be to prevent. It's an intervention, educational, safe sex. This is how you practice type of video. So nearly under 12 black guys were questioned, aired through qualitative research method. And the survey asks them, what type of, do you want a voucher? Do you want to go to a machine and then you get out your self-test kit to see if you're whatever disease? Do you want to go to the health department? Would you work with a gala center? Would you what would you want to see, or would you just like to see something in the newspaper, or would you like to, if you saw something online for your application, what would it be? And they also want the intervention safe sex video for prevention and education to be funny. So with social justice education, it is socially just for the people that say we want it to be funny and we like dark humor. So basically the gay community perhaps would say, let's pregnate Jesus Christ. Give him AIDS because you didn't know he was gay. And then everybody laughs, and then they have like a, no matter how moral you might be, you still can get it, or something like that, because Jesus loves porn. So there's things already online that are talking like that, where they've homoeroticized Jesus Christ. So someone like Tom Cruise, who maybe one day want to get out of Scientology, he may want to say, I want to plant a church because he had always wanted to be a priest. So I could say, here is a New World religion called New World Christ Church. It comes from out of Social Alchemy Project Access Management, which handles the career of Tyler Hamilton and his estate and his foundation and the Tyler Hamilton University College of Social Behavioral Sciences and his private practices and his real estate. And then you have, of course, Living It Up with Tyler Hamilton 90210. You have him on Jimmy Kimmel. You have him on Ricky Lake. But Carol Channing has said things about me. I've taken pictures with her. That never happened ever before. I've taken a picture with Rob Lowe, said nice things, and some other celebs, So, in Los Angeles, it's really important to name drop. That's kind of what you do. And so, anything that is forgivable, you are already forgiven going into Hollywood. So people are just very cash. It's a very cash culture. You have Donald J. Trump and everything. And you just have people just be like, all right, Tom Cruise does not own Hollywood. He's Hollywood royalty. Because he doesn't know how to put his money into LGBT for the areas that Social Alchemy Project Access Management is researching, then he is not really making the grade, because Church of Scientology might be against supporting gay people in their lifestyle without having to say, you need to become a Scientologist. Maybe they just don't know how to give contraception. So people are barebacking, exchanging STDs, and Tom Cruise is too good for it because he dines at Beverly Hills, well, not Beverly Hills, but Hotel Bel Air often. I don't know it right now because in 2016 he unloaded one of his Beverly Hills estates, his mansions, could have been an oasis, his full-on estate, just a campus, basically. It had this tennis courts and just a good old-fashioned commune, or just kind of like just a special place. And so now he's renovated a penthouse in Florida, and it's near some headquarters of Church of Scientology. So I studied 6 months with Church of Scientology. I studied to be a Mormon. I was raised on a lot of missions, things like this. This is under my global missionary efforts and things like this. I'm a minister, not just diplomatic-wise, in governance, but also in, global, human family type of thing, raise the love for all religion, all people, all culture, including Donald J. Trump. And fabulous people like Jane Fonda. So, and then there's fabulous, the Dame Caitlyn Jenner, and I would like to see her eventually be knighted by the Queen of England because of her humanity. So, I'm going to be contacting my friends in Britain, and we're going to start trying to see if people can kind of, in the royal family, say, maybe, you know, that Caitlyn Jenner, there is, you know, Joan Collins, you know, out here in Beverly Hills. I just got back from her, you bet it, correct, an auction of beautiful gowns on Dynasty. I know. Don't ask me where they are, because they never made it into the apartment here. The backstage for mentally ill social justice film works, or filming, or film company, or production company, or something rather. Social justice films. Mental illness social justice films, I don't know. Something like this. Something under the social justice education umbrella, where you're using the arts, you're using Jesus Christ, Savior, good values, the Ten Commandments, very important. And then you have just like shock rock. It's okay to be gay. But you can't forget the backstory. You can't forget where we came from. And I'm not talking your mom and dad. I'm talking about their parents and their parents. And finding out where you came from and knowing your story is one thing that I'm always talking to people about. One moment, I need to get some water. I'm wearing my fabulous yellow pants. So, yes. I'm also a dancer. I've danced as a mime artist in former Soviet Union, Kiev, Chernobyl, Lviv, like things like this. So anyways, so what I'm trying to explain is that, you know, we all have to understand that medicine, science, and money hard-ons, and what psychological masculinity is. This is where we make a big circle. This is why all members have to be men. Are they transgender? Cross-dress. Let's just leave it at that for the time being, because that's where I'm at. So, I am doing a film, Crazy Me for Tom. This all comes from a social alchemy project, Access Management. But the spiritual principle, and then just my celebrity. I was born with a celebrity. It's kind of like you're rich and famous, but you're not rich and famous. But when you talk about it, and a few people like sit around and eat pizza with you, they're like, "My goodness, you're fantastic." So you know, I have food, I have products, I have poems, I have books, I have a lot of different things that I'm working on. Not just the New Rules Christ Church and the university and the practices. You know, I have, you know, practice, pedagogy, and theory. You know, I'm a scholar practitioner, way over in training. I'm should be most postdoctorate if you look at anything I'm doing right now, but I am wrapping up a PhD. But I want everything to be post everything, then postdoctoral work, research, you know, fellowship stuff. Government, civilian group lobbyist work, mayor, governor, these are things that people think I need to be. Because, you know, we've never had a gay man who takes himself seriously and is out of the closet about his crimes. And I spent time in jail before my DUIs and prank calling. So, you know, and, you know, the drugs and the rock and roll, and I'm trained opera singer, but I'm shock rock. You know, Joan Rivers says, a comedian doesn't have to apologize. And I have all these heterosexual redneck girls that I was raised with in Bakersfield telling me that God did not make me to be gay and I talk too much about myself. Well, you know what? If me talking so much about myself keeps me sober from alpha methamphetamines, fuck you. Because listen, they did it behind my back. I never even know they were loaded. And then when I was lonely, the wrong dirty beaners, can't not throw them out of bed, gave me drugs, all kinds, I think. I forget. Maybe it's just a made-up lie. So the story in between my life, but what I want you to think it is, or it was, for shock rock, for narrative, is fiction and non-fiction. And so it's just very mindfuck. It's very, very, you know, in my world, already clusterfuck because of all these ideas happening right now. I have my curriculum vitae, my CV. I'm a visiting lecturer. I'm working on Pepperdine, USC, UCLA. My first start was Northridge, Cal State University, Northridge. My resume is what people are saying, which are all mostly celebrities. Volunteerism, charity, skeleton framework template for the website, socialacmeproject.com or whatever. It's where you're going to be able to find all my credentials, as well as, you know, my video work, my modeling, portrait limitations, my lectures, my YouTube channel, Social Alchemy Project. I have my Hamilton credentials, my biographical sketches, my descriptions, I have my poetry. So, and I have a lot of just different things that we're creating as your new celebrity beauty for you. Because I get letters, I get people writing in and saying, oh gosh, what do we do? How do we reinstate being a man since Donald J. Trump? Oh, Tom Cruise. Oh, and then they think everything. And I say, go to the arts. I says, because with money hard-ons and cock and our twinks, which is short for Twinkie, because Twinkies are cream-filled, and the young boys are ginger boys with the freckles, or skinny, blonde hair, tall, whatever. And, you know, they're like the twinks, and they lie, and they're looking for drugs and prostitution in Hollywood. So, you know, you look at this as really still our culture. You know, you have your escorts, you have, you know, Stormy Daniels, and things like this. And so, I come to you through my lectures and my experiences of having been nominated as Mr. Nude Palm Springs, but also having been Downtown Brown, a community bear mascot of San Luis Obispo. That people are telling me, you need to be the mayor of San Luis Obispo, you need to be the mayor of San Luis Obispo, you know. You spent many years in Santa Barbara, blah, 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 in Beverly Hills, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no, 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 no. I have something to do very important in West LA, having to do with STDs being the highest in the nation. So, the missions continue. So we're doing some work with some churches, Korean churches, foreign ethnic churches, looking at, you know, Los Angeles wishes that they're going to be the sanctuary city, and a lot of people are saying we want to commit suicide and OD, and, you know, all of our celebrities, and they throw themselves into tents with children and adults, and they say, give me $20 for your child. Just saying, it's shock rock. It's like, you know, the conspiracy of Los Angeles is untrue. Like just kidnapping and sex trafficking and all these kids from underneath the freeways of Los Angeles, and people are killing babies, eating them and drinking them in Hollywood for to stay high and young and to become virgins again. Shock rock. So it might not sound funny, but it's dark humor. So get over it. So everybody is acting so perfect that when they look at the imperfection of me, they find out that's the perfection. They find out that when you're the friend of the friendless, which you are a friend of yourself, which is friendless, you love yourself, you hold yourself, and you don't become needy, like for people to just make you a whore star in a Madonna whore culture, and you're on the casting couch. You know, you find yourself with broken dreams because now you have what? OD'd, or you're homeless. Or you've joined the coven again because they're not naive to STDs. And when you go out, you get STDs, so you keep going back to your satanic covens with their orgies. They taught you how to have orgies with your demons. That's not what I told you. It's nothing I'm saying is racist. It's what I hear singing around Sweet Beverly Hills. So, this is what we're looking at. We're looking at a very sharp and prestigious area of all-male energy services center. No, when I say services, I'm not referring to public bathrooms. George Michael. Sorry. So as we're looking at theory of masculinist theorists ourselves, we say, oh, we have cock and culture research, cock and culture theory. There's the New World Christ Church that's open to you believing that your church is cock, or you're a Satanist, or you love Jesus, or you're Catherine Coleman, or Benny Hinn, or Oral Roberts, or Chuck Swindoll, or Pat Robertson, or Cook Cameron, or Billy Graham, or I don't know, Delarice. So what you're saying is that in celebrity, and where there's always been even aristocracy in United States presidents, it's been Mormon or like honored and overseen by Mormon in the day. The Mormons would consult and give prophecy to our government. That's how we created the social welfare system. But people like George Washington was Episcopalian. All the aristocratic presidents of the U.S. come from Episcopalian, not Baptist. So people like the evangelical Christians saying it's okay for our president to grab pussy and to hire the JJ, but yet Tyler Lord Hamilton is not allowed to be himself because God makes junk, because they teach me now God hates fags, the World Borough Baptist and Baptist friends I know as of today, August 2018, are telling me that God did not make me to be gay. Well, I said to them, God did not make you to be fat. I told all my women friends what I told them, and my women's friends says, good, you treated them like cunts. I guess I did. If no one's going to do it, I have to do it. See, people do things and get away with things because nobody catches them and puts a stop to it. You know? So anyways, let's get on with production. Let's get on with the men's movement, the lowering STDs, the humane life sustainability, the advance in very cogent independent research, fact findings, social justice prevalence, democracy promotion without force, what it means to be a man. That's the nucleus of all of Social Alchemy Project. Now, its original findings were anti-corruption and human greed disabler, to also put control on loneliness, because that's what envy comes and we create lots of problems, and also this whole concept, it was not segued into it until later, but the minute you think you have to be the best, that becomes the root of your corruption. See, so just as the love of money is the root of all evil, the love of you being better and the best than people through competition is the demise, because you have corrupted your own life because of the choices you now make. See, all that thinking is selfishness. Jesus Christ was homeless and broke. They dragged him to the cross, and he was still homeless and broke. He was raped. They broke his mind down. They raped him. They killed him the best they could to make his mind like this. Then they hung him on the cross. He was still broke and homeless. Then he was risen. He ended up in the tomb. The tomb freaking better move fast, because what? Jesus Christ is risen today. Hallelujah. But wait, he's still broke and homeless on this earth. So the apostles had to physically touch him because they didn't believe it was really him. Like, people were dumbasses. So if I'm not a dumbass, then why am I still with other men responsible for the original sins of Adam? See, the church and the Christians still preach to you that you are still accountable for the sins of your forefathers and Adam and Eve. Like the Baha'is say, you're born noble. Okay, so in the context of Tyler Lord Hamilton, hopefully John Travolta, looking at men's real issues than what Scientology is seeing through their rose-colored glasses. I am getting a headache because of this. It's not fun. See these double-dot glasses. Oh, excuse me, please. So what we have is just basically producing and helping people get back to their original innocence of their dreams, because they've been self-loathing and lamenting in their poverty, even in their poor thinking, even if they are affluent. And so are they really happy? They still want more. So you want, of course, the truth of Hindu, Buddha is to just breathe, create a spiritual practice for yourself, so that when you come forward with your beauty, you are beautiful. So welcome to Social Alchemy Project Access Management. I guess that's a little introduction for all the students out there. And the Theta Fathom, to put in dentures, the Theta Fandom with my iconic star image and my dramatist persona. Oh, I studied mime with the protege, very close best friends and best students to the French mime dancer, Marcel Musso.